Welcome to our session at Securities Commission's annual InvestSmart Fest. I'm Suhana Mokhtar from the Dispute Resolution team at SIDREC, and today we will be having conversations about the dispute resolution services in the capital market industry, what we do, the processes involved, and how we can help you as the investor. Before we proceed, we have a video to explain what we do.
You have suffered financial loss while investing, and you think your bank, broker, fund management company, unit trust management company, PRS provider or distributor, or their agent or representative is responsible. You need help sorting out the problem or want to seek redress. Where do you go? SIDREC is here to help you start the conversation and reach some resolution. First, lodge a formal complaint with a company that sold or offered you the unit trusts, shares, derivatives, or other capital market product or service. But you're not happy with their response. You have 180 days from their final written reply to come to SIDREC. Or if there's no written response, and it's been 90 days since you wrote to them, you don't need to wait longer. You may come to SIDREC even though you haven't received a final response yet. SIDREC first checks the eligibility of your claim. For example, is it within SIDREC's claim limit? Is it against a member of SIDREC? And so forth. If your case is eligible, we begin the dispute resolution process. All information in this process is confidential. We get both you and the member you're complaining against to sit with us and have a conversation. Documents and information will be required from both parties. No lawyers are allowed in the mediation process, as we keep the discussions informal and private. Our mediators are impartial and will hear both sides out and help parties communicate constructively towards resolving the dispute. Two outcomes are possible at this stage. Either both you and the member agree to a settlement, or you don't. If the both of you agree to a settlement, an agreement is signed and the mediation process ends successfully. But if both you and the member fail to reach a satisfactory resolution, mediation has thus failed. But don't worry, SIDREC then proceeds to the next stage, adjudication. During adjudication, parties are given the chance to provide any further information to help their case and ask each other further questions. Our adjudicator will then study and consider all facts and information provided, including the conduct of the parties, laws, and best industry practices, as well as what's fair and reasonable. SIDREC's adjudicator will then make a final decision on the dispute and the monetary claim. If the decision is in your favor, it could be a full award or a partial award for your claim. But if the decision isn't in your favor, then no award will be made. You, the investor, will still have a choice. If you reject the decision, SIDREC will simply close the case and you may seek other legal avenues for redress. If you choose to accept the decision, however, the member has to comply with it. Once the parties have confirmed compliance to the decision, SIDREC will close the case. So let SIDREC help start the conversation towards resolution. For more information, visit sidrec.com.my or call 03 2282 2280.
We hope the video gives you insight on what SIDREC does and how we can help you. SIDREC is also independent, impartial, and effective. Allow us to explain why we think so.
Established by the Securities Commission Malaysia, SC, SIDREC provides an independent and impartial avenue with capital market expertise to resolve monetary disputes between investors and any SIDREC member in a timely and cost-effective manner. This contributes to enhancing investor confidence in participating in the capital market. For dispute with monetary claims below 250,000 ringgit, our dispute resolution services are free for investors. A SIDREC member must participate in a dispute resolution process for claims below 250,000 ringgit. This, we call it the mandatory scheme. SIDREC may also mediate and adjudicate disputes with monetary claims above 250,000 ringgit if both investor and SIDREC member agree to seek SIDREC's help, subject to a reasonable fee payable by both parties. This, we call it the voluntary scheme. SIDREC is mandated by the SC under the Capital Market and Services Dispute Resolution Regulations 2010 as a dispute resolution body to handle disputes involving monetary claims made by individual investors or sole proprietors against capital market intermediaries who are members of SIDREC. SIDREC has an independent board comprising of industry and independent directors and a CEO who are appointed with the approval of the SC, together with the checks and balances reflected in the Capital Markets and Services Dispute Resolution Regulations 2010 and SIDREC's terms of reference, ensures SIDREC's independence and impartiality at all times. Generally, SIDREC's awards are final. A claimant may choose to accept or reject it for disputes filed under the mandatory scheme. But once accepted by the claimant, it is binding on the member. However, in a very limited circumstances, there may be an appeal avenue for both parties. This is if parties can reasonably justify an appeal on one of the grounds. 1. That of serious error of law or error of fact. 2. New evidence that could not be produced at adjudication, and these may materially affect the award. We have a separate process for this, and the application will be considered by SIDREC Appeals Committee based on this criterion, among others.
Our dispute resolution process includes case management, mediation, and adjudication. Generally, a claim can be resolved at any stage in the process. Our dispute resolution process usually takes the form of a continuation of the process initiated through a member's internal complaint management system, but with the intervention of SIDREC, an independent and impartial body that seeks to resolve disputes based on facts, better appreciation of each party's perspective, and some clarity on each party's own shortcomings. The independence and impartiality of SIDREC, capital market expertise of our case managers, mediators, and adjudicators, combined with the mediative approach adopted by SIDREC, were instrumental in the success of our dispute resolution services. Impartiality is critical to the work SIDREC does. Based on our experience, especially in disputes where parties do not get what they want, they still leave SIDREC with the satisfaction that they were heard and were accorded a fair process. Their concerns had a proper chance of being heard and received a reasonable response and explanation to their concerns during the process. They feel placated that even though they may not have gotten what they wanted, they did receive an impartial and independent process from SIDREC. The perception bias is something that we've continually tried to manage. We do this in several ways. First, we conduct ourselves in an impartial manner. While we do highlight challenges to parties, we do so in a neutral manner without taking sides. We adopt a mediative approach from the get-go with an objective to help parties reach an amicable resolution of their dispute in an efficient and timely manner. Secondly, we ensure that SIDREC's case managers, mediators, and adjudicators are not conflicted to act in their respective capacities. What this means is that they do not have a relationship with either party that may affect their handling of a dispute. Lastly, SIDREC is not attached to an outcome. We do not have any vested interest to side with any party. What SIDREC is committed to is to ensure a fair and reasonable process. Since the proof is always in the pudding, as more parties undergo SIDREC's dispute resolution process, the perception bias will gradually diminish. Each dispute is unique. We first try and understand the perspectives of both the investor and the member. At the same time, we will apply regulatory expectations as well as look into market best practices. This will then determine the issues that SIDREC will look into.
The dispute resolution at SIDREC is an informal process. Mediations and adjudications are conducted with minimal legal formality and technicality. The court system is an adversarial process in nature, whereas at SIDREC, the process is inquisitorial and applies the principle of what is fair and reasonable. SIDREC is committed to ensuring and improving its efficiency. We are cognizant that quality service is also one that is efficient. We do so by adhering to the timeline stipulated in our terms of reference. Further, we keep parties updated of the progress of their dispute. Nevertheless, in aiming for efficiency, our efficiency is also dependent on cooperation from all parties. When information and documentation is provided to us in a clear, legible, and organized manner, this enables quicker understanding of a matter. However, where information is incomplete or insufficient, multiple engagements with parties have to be made to understand the dispute, which will then impact efficiency. This depends on the stage at which a claim is resolved. Claims resolved at case management are typically faster than claims resolved at adjudication. We are also proud to share that more than 90% of the claims received by SIDREC were resolved at either case management or mediation without having to proceed to adjudication. Many other factors also come into play, like the complexity of the matter and the cooperation received from both parties. For example, if a matter is complex, the case management process may take longer, as SIDREC will seek to better understand the case from both perspectives. As a rule, SIDREC aims to resolve all claims within 90 working days from receiving full documentation from both parties. SIDREC typically conducts the mediation and adjudication at SIDREC's office. However, in exceptional circumstances, SIDREC has in the past conducted virtual mediations and adjudications.
Does SIDREC guarantee that I will recover my investment losses if I go to them?
No.
If there is no guarantee that I will recover my losses, what does SIDREC guarantee?
Fairness.
How many schemes do you have for the investors?
2.
What differentiates the scheme?
The claim amount.
How long is your dispute resolution process upon receiving complete documentation and information on an eligible dispute?
90 working days.
Does a claimant have to refer his dispute to a member first before coming to SIDREC?
Yes.
Who are eligible claimants?
Individuals or sole proprietors.
Is SIDREC's dispute resolution services free for eligible claimants whose claim amount is below 250,000 ringgit?
Yes.
Can I speak Bahasa Malaysia, Tamil or Mandarin?
Boleh. 目前可以.
Jika saya telah melabur dengan syarikat yang tidak dilesenkan oleh SC, boleh tak SIDREC tolong saya?
Tidak.
Do I need to physically come to SIDREC to lodge a complaint?
No.
SIDREC 是监管机构吗？
For sure.
Where can I get more information on SIDREC?
SIDREC.com.my or call us at 03-2282-2280.
3 words to describe SIDREC.
Independent, impartial, effective.